Welcome to another episode of The Real Money Coach. My name is Marlon Smith, and so excited to have you here because let me tell you, you're in for a treat this evening. Listen, we started The Real Money Coach on April 2nd, 2020. And why did we start? We started because of the stock market. When COVID-19 was announced, mandatory stay-at-home order, the stock market, the volatility of the stock market, and people were scared. And so we started this because we wanted to be a solution for people. We wanted to be a blessing. And so we want to thank you. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're watching from, because this is your time. This will be our last forum, town hall, The Real Money Coach forum of 2020. And we have a treat for you, I'm telling you. So let me just once again say thank you. Thank you for being you. I understand 2020 has been a year where our world's been turned upside down. But what I also know is what doesn't destroy you makes you stronger. Think about that. You're still standing. That means there's more for you. And so as a result of that, we're saying to you, let's take it to the next level. 2021 is literally New Year's Eve is in 14 days. And so my question to you is, how is 2021 going to be different than 2020? How are we going to make this decade, the 20s, the best, absolutely the best? And Brother Day, great to have you here from Boston. So type in the chat box where you're watching from. We're going to find out which state represents, because I'm here to tell you what you do today dictates where you'll be tomorrow. And Tony, let's bring up Tony Jackson, my colleague, because we're going to get into it, have a very special guest. Tony, how are you doing, brother?
Marlon, I am doing absolutely awesome. Man, you know what I love about this, man? We've been doing this since April. And we don't even have to prompt people to put in the text box, tell us where you're watching from. Look, we got Tommy Day all the way from Boston, Massachusetts. And man, listen, we got a new guy on. I think this may be his first time. Moses Lyons, a guy I knew back in Jackson, Michigan. And so Moses hit me up today. He's like, hey, you going to have Megan on there? Man, he inboxed me, said, I got to be there, right? Wow. And so man, we got Tamara Jackson from Delaware. We got Washington, D.C., Michael Reed, Kelsey Carter. Man, they're coming in from everywhere to see the Real Money Coach tonight, to see Miss Megan bless us tonight with some wisdom, some inspiration. We got Ruth Bell, a staple on the Real Money Coach, right? So, man, we love it. We love it. Marlon, you said it, man. This is our last show. Chad Lawson, man, that's my boy right there, right? He's a Michigan fan. Go Blue all the way. Living in Columbus. You're talking about living in the mouth of the lion. That's my man. But man, this has been an awesome experience.
Yeah, and our best is yet to come. I mean, it's, and I love that blue that you're wearing, Tony. It looks good on you, brother. Blue, man.
I didn't know if I was going with my blue, my green. We how we rock it around here, right?
No doubt. And look, I want to give a shout out also to Kelsey Carnell. She said she's watching from Boston. I saw you at Southern New Hampshire University orientation almost 5 years ago, and you are amazing. And I want to say thank you because again, that's the impact that we can all have, right? Met her 5 years ago and boom, 5 years later, still connected. And what's so amazing is, isn't it true, Tony? And I want to talk to Moses. Moses, type in the chat box, how was Tony Jackson growing up? Okay, we're going to put it out there, right? Tony tells me he was a superstar athlete and he did this and did that.
From my hometown, man, when he knew me, I was already grown, man. I'm already doing my thing by the time I met Moses Lyons, right? But man, it's pretty cool. And I believe Moses spent a little time in the boxing ring and all that, man. And really pretty cool guy. But listen, we also got Steven Jackson, no relation, from New York City's in the house. And he's got his business incubator. We're going to do some things with him in the new year. Wow, man, that was listen, who else we got here? We got Pam, we got Tanya Gathers. Man, awesome.
And look, Karen Morris, Washington State, okay? And Karen and Megan, I mean, she's here because she and Megan, man, they are like that, okay? And, it's amazing. Woman power, Tony. I don't know. We better watch out, man. We may not have a show in 2021. Okay, I'm just saying. These ladies get together, man. They just take over, right?
Well, they dominate. They dominate, man. They dominate.
Right.
Dominate. So love it, man. But
Yeah.
I do want to just say this, man, to all you guys who supported us. And Marlon said it, right? Now, it's interesting tonight. It's interesting, Marlon. I don't know if you drew, if you made this correlation, right? But we started this show on April 2nd.
Right.
And why did we start it on April 2nd? Because the stock market was tanking, right? We had clients calling us worried about what's going on at the market.
Right.
So what did? We said, let's have a town hall and let's reassure them about the market. Let's reassure them about the products that we offer. They have, in trading terms, a stop loss, right? 0 forward, right? And so we started it because of the market. That's our first show. And tonight, we're coming full circle, and we're going to talk about trading tonight. I mean, just think about that. Think about the analogy of that, man, is how, and here's the thing. We started 2020. Everybody, I remember, I was speaking, I was preaching about 2020, the year of perfect vision.
Right.
Everyone this time last year was very excited about 2020.
That's right.
We're having all these things. People are super excited about it. We get into January, and in January, Kobe Bryant dies in helicopter accident.
Wow.
I think it was January. I might be wrong about that. I think it was January. It was early in the year. And then this thing called COVID-19 hits. And what was optimism by so many people, now they're worried. I mean, we have stay-at-home orders, businesses being shut down. All these things are happening and really in a moment. And when you can pivot, when you can adjust, when you can do the things that you need to, because there'll be another COVID, right? Not necessarily a COVID-19, but there'll be another crisis.
Sure.
There'll be another one. And so what have we learned from this one? We've learned a couple of things, right? You got to learn, you got to be nimble, you got to be able to adjust, you got to have your money right? So that you can survive these type of things. And so I'm just proud of a lot of the people that we've been working with that's been tuning in. And I think tonight is a great way to cap off 2020. So I'm excited.
So, yeah, and you're right. Kobe Bryant passed away on January 26, 2020. And again, that just shows you how important life is. Tomorrow's not promised for any of us.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that we're very focused on is sharing, legacy wealth. How to make sure, we've had some of our partners as far as estate planning. We've had tax experts. We've had Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, George Fraser, another best-selling author. And so I say all that to say this, it's one thing to get information. They say information is power. That's not true. Information is potential power. It only becomes power when you take action. Right. And what's the thing that holds people back from taking action, Tony? You know it. What is it?
Fear.
Right?
Fear, right?
Fear, man.
What's the acronym of fear? What's the acronym of fear? False
expectations appearing real, right?
Right.
So what we want to talk about tonight, man, that's what I think we got to just get it in, man, because I mean the viewers is blowing up. If you haven't typed in where you're watching from, go ahead and type it in, because we're hitting some historic numbers right now. We haven't even brought the young lady up. So type in where you're watching from, because I'm gonna tell you something, you're in for a treat. And so Tony, let's talk about when we first met this young lady. We were like, who is this? Right? Hey, Chancellor, great to have you on, okay?
Columbia, yes.
Yeah, and so we were like, who is this? Okay, she's motivating the motivator. I motivate people, okay? But this lady was bringing it. And what I love about our guest, Tony, Megan Lynch, is that she's a woman on a mission. Former teacher, right? Look, we got Tennessee in the house. Hey, Debbie, great to have you. All right. And what I'm excited about is the fact that here's a former teacher who really has a passion for young people, for educating, for being a blessing, right? And she's going to tell her story. I mean, how some of her students were murdered, and she wrote a grant, and she just said, there's more for me. And I love the fact, and what did we title this, Tony, tonight?
We title this From Teacher to Millionaire Business Owner.
Woo!
To Millionaire Business Owner, man. That's awesome, man. That title says it all, man. But we got some more shout outs to do. Corey Vu from California is with us. We got Tony from Texas. I saw some other people up there. I thought I saw Brad Hudson's here. Janice is here. Her story is so inspiring. We got to have her on the show one day, man. Talk about someone that's been through some trials and some tribulations, and she's still standing, still smiling, still strong. Alice is in the house tonight, and so we got Atlanta, man. They're coming in, man, from all over the country. This is awesome.
Australia, that's what I'm talking about. Don't play with us, Tony Jackson. All right, Australia.
We international now, Marlon.
Alberta,
There we go.
All right. That's what I'm talking about, man. Okay, we got Megan. We may have to, just bring her on to, what I'm saying, as a regular, man. But listen. I want to say something to you, and then we're gonna bring her on because listen, I want to say a friend of mine dropped this on me earlier, and he said, "Listen, Marlon, the blessing is in the struggle." Let that sink in, y'all. Okay, my friend Sean Langston. I told him I was gonna give him credit the first time I shared it. Sean Langston said to me, Marlon, the blessing is in the struggle. We all have had challenges. We've all had, curveballs thrown. But it's not whether or not you get knocked down by life. It's whether or not you get back up. And the young lady we're about to bring up is a lady who's taken her share of blows. But also she's grown, she's learned, she's prospered through it. And so I want you to understand, please get your notepad ready because we're going to be talking to your spirit. As we close out 2020 and we go into 2021, it's about you having that eye of the tiger because you're still breathing. There's still life in you. That means you have more to do. And so I am so grateful, so honored because with the Real Money Coach, and this was Tony Jackson's download. You see, God will give us each a vision, give us an idea, and then he'll circle you around those that will confirm it. And so what I want you to understand, whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, it's possible. It's possible. You got to speak life into it. And so get ready, y'all, because we're about to bring up a superstar, a legend, and she's already talking about creating the new Wall Street. I am so excited, okay? She has motivated the motivator, all right? My sister from another mister, okay? And Tony is my brother from another mother. Yeah, that's it. So let's bring them up. Megan and Tony. Come on up. Let's talk. Hey, how are you doing, sister? Oh, you have your mute button on. We're going to unmute you because we know you. There you go.
There we go. Now we got it. Hey, Megan.
How are you?
Good. Welcome to the Real Money Coach.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Megan, listen.
I'm glad to have you.
Yeah, very much. And listen, you were a teacher. Give us a little bit of your background. Tony and I know you and we're excited, but I want our viewing audience, you were a teacher. Why did you get into the teaching profession? What was it about teaching that really, attracted you to that?
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for just allowing me to jump on. I'm kind of running my mouth all the time, typically. Anyway, so I'm like, man, I've not been on like a podcast like this before or Facebook Live. So I just think this is, first of all, it's just one of the most amazing programs because we really need to have these conversations. And we don't really have those dinner time conversations anymore where we, are eating dinner together. We're talking about things. And I honestly remember doing that with my family when I was younger. But just a little bit about myself. I grew up in a small town in Princeton, Indiana. If you blink, you'll miss it. It's right around like Evansville, Kentucky area, and in between like the Terre Haute, Indianapolis area. So it's a really small town, but loved growing up there. Really got that small town feeling. My family, they were actually like really top athletes. So my brother was a top athlete all over the country. He was recruited in basketball by just so many people. So I really got to see college, and I was bouncing around. And while all these college coaches, I remember Gene Cady, you guys remember him? He coached for Purdue, and Bob Knight, and all of these people were coming to our house, and I was like 10 years old. And I didn't quite understand that, but I did understand just how important education was. So my dad was always really a firm believer about getting educated and just working to your potential. And that really was driving me. And my mom just worked really hard. She was very supportive. Did everything she possibly could for us. So we just grew up in a home where education was important. And then we were all athletes. So I actually went off and played volleyball at Indiana State, walked on the volleyball team, and then got a full ride volleyball scholarship. So that's kind of where I started with just education and really seeing the value in it.
One of the things I love about that is, the fact that you just walked on. And for those of you that may, I know we have an international audience, Tony and I, we both played sports, but for you to walk on, what that means for those of you watching, it means they give scholarships, college scholarships to athletes to come to your school. And for her to walk on, she walked on as a non-scholarship athlete. And for her to get a scholarship, that meant she had to, quote unquote, bump off somebody else, right? Because they only have so many scholarships. So I want to say, wow. And, that really, talk to us, in regards to that. I know you had to really be persistent. You had to have a strong work ethic. So how important is that? Because I'm sure, what you saw in your brother and your sister and your family, and you took it to college as a volleyball, scholarship athlete. Mm-hmm. And now you also took it to your teaching profession. Talk to us about how you made the transition to teaching.
Well, I mean, when I was in college and when I walked on, there were 17 girls on the team, and they were all scholarship athletes. So when I walked on, the person in my position, she was literally like 6'8". I'm not even kidding. It was one of the tallest girls I've ever played with. So, when I walked on, I said, I'm going to just, do what I can to get noticed. So I just really had to go in there every single day and give 100%. I didn't have the luxury of going in there and taking a break and, having an off day because I was the only one not on scholarship. And I really wanted to be able to get a scholarship the next year. My parents had 3 kids in college at the same time. My twin sister was in college at another school playing volleyball as well. So it was just really just hard work. But I'm going to be honest, that was the first time I was ever away from my twin sister in 18 years. And we were womb mates. I spent every waking moment of my life with my sister. And I remember I wanted to go home. And you have to have people around you who won't let you quit and give up. So I remember calling my dad, and he was like, no, you're not coming home. You'll get home. And then I called my brother, and my brother, he talked to me and he said, listen, give it 100% effort. And he just talked about not giving up too early. He was, off in college, Division I athlete. So it was really just taking yourself to the next level and not being the best, but understanding that you can be if you work toward that particular goal. So that's what I did. And then obviously met a lot of people in college and decided that I wanted to go into education at that point. Ran into some struggles and some pain. You were talking about it. I did find my purpose and my pain, but I'm sure we'll talk about that as well. But it was an eye-opening experience just to be there.
And so a couple things, Tony, come on, Tony, talk to us, man. I see you got something. I think you're on mute, Tony. Tony muted himself.
I know my daughter got a volleyball scholarship to go there. And so I know that there's challenges that happen both on the court and off the court. And you got to persevere through those things. So tell me what was that thing that helped you persevere as much off the court as it was? Because when you're a student athlete, there's really 3 things that you got to deal with. You got to deal with on the court, your academics, and then the social life that's around that. And you spoke to, just wanting to quit. What was that like? I mean, just kind of unpack that a little bit in terms of the culture, because it's a brand culture, especially in volleyball. There's not a lot of us playing volleyball.
Right.
And I imagine it was probably not a lot of us on that team. So talk to us a little bit.
So, and I grew up in a small town. So everybody in my town, if you were a minority, you were probably related to me. That's how small the town was. We had one high school. So we were all family. So I was used to growing up around diversity. But when I went to college, and then it wasn't as challenging for me because I was the only African-American female on the volleyball team, like the whole 5 years, because I walked on. So I was actually playing for 5 years. And people used to ask all the time, well, what's it like? How is it being the only one, And it honestly, it didn't bother me because I could see myself a different way. And I also see the good in everyone. And
Yes.
I ran into some players who had never played, believe it or not, they had never been around a Black person before. So I didn't use that as an opportunity to spread hate. They would say things sometimes that wasn't quite what they probably should say, but I used it as a time period to educate and ask questions. Okay, why would you say that? Well, this is why people do what they do. So I was always kind of in that role of wanting to understand how people think. And then, so it just kind of transformed into me wanting to really educate. But believe it or not, my best friend got killed when I was in college. That was a really hard blow for me. And, he was an amazing person. And I'm 19 years old. I've never lost even a family member before. So I'm trying to deal with losing a young person so violently. And I just didn't understand it. And I didn't. Wow. It really put me in a bad place. I talk about it. It put me in a bad place for like a good period of time until I realized that the person who probably could make some changes is me, So I always tell people I found my purpose and my pain, not only pain of volleyball and going through it, being an athlete and just trying to deal with just becoming a young woman by myself. It was also just dealing with the death of my closest friend.
Wow.
And then you put that, and I like that, finding your purpose in your pain. And Megan, the first time I say it, I'm going to say Megan Lynch said that. Second time I say, I'm going to say somebody said it. Third time I said it. Okay, so you better trademark it, girl. You know what I'm saying? Because that's powerful. But it's so true. I mean, all of us, have, some valley experiences. And it's in that time when you're going through the trials and tribulations, I think that's when the blessing in disguise is you grow. You elevate, right? Some people get stuck. Some people do get stuck. But if you can transform, to your higher good, my goodness. And so from that, you mentioned, boom, you did this, volleyball. And so what was the thing? What was the defining moment when you said, I'm going to be a teacher?
I think it was at that moment when I really felt like I wanted to do something to impact young people. And I always loved writing, expressing myself. I loved poetry, all those types of things. So, and to be honest though, there weren't that many options. I think kids struggle because you could be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a psychologist. And I always wanted to be a psychologist. And somebody was like, you got to go to school for 8 years. And I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. But then I became a teacher and became a psychologist darn near anyway, because there are a lot of hats. But I think that's why I'm so adamant right now about exposing our young people to so many different types of people, because believe it or not, a lot of their jobs haven't even been created yet. So we're asking somebody who's 10, 11 years old what they want to be when they grow up. And we're in a technological boom. If they would have asked us, there are no YouTubers, when we were growing up, it didn't even exist. And now people are making millions of dollars sharing their passions or whatever, or just like you're doing right now. This really didn't exist for young people. So for me, it was just wanting to be able to be connected to the youth and to be able to maybe prevent them. I was kind of that savior person, prevent them from falling into the same situations that my friend had fallen into.
Wow, that's
deep. Now I know that when you were teaching, you went beyond the classroom. I know that there was like a grant and some other things you did that was like maybe the death of a friend kind of sparked that. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that situation and what you did,
Definitely.
when you were teaching?
Well, I will tell you guys this. I was a bit of a rebel. Like I always tell people, like the modern day Harriet Tubman, I was so passionate. And when you have so much passion, sometimes you don't know how to channel it the right way. And I was really very much kind of Malcolm X in that way where it's like by any means necessary, I'm going to get through to these kids, and I just push the envelope. Sometimes a little bit too far, so I always found myself literally in the principal's office trying to explain why I didn't want to teach it this way, and I wanted to teach it this way. So literally, it was just to that point where I became kind of the black sheep. But it was when one of my students had gotten killed, is Greg Johnson. Loved this kid. He would come to class every single day. Really nice looking kid. But his sophomore year, he was just your typical, hadn't grown too much, and he was just kind of your typical kid. But by the time that I had seen him when he was a senior, he had a lot of influence. He had a lot of money too. And that kind of bothered me. And I remember pulling him and his friend out in the hallway, and I was just like, listen, you have more money than me. And I don't know if you have a job. So I was just very in tune with what my students were going through. And unfortunately, his senior year, he was shot and killed his senior year. And I went to his funeral, and that was the turning point for me. Everybody has that turning point in their life. And when I went to his funeral, it was really hard because everybody had on T-shirts that said, "Get money till death." And they had his face on there. And I'm like, at a funeral, it was just like, I was so appalled, right? And I could not sleep. I went home, prayed, and literally was awake for 3 days, like fasting, praying. And then I had written my program, SOS, Saving Our Son, because that's what I had seen, like this national help symbol of SOS. And I'm like, Saving Our Sons. I need to do a program like that. And he got killed August 28th of 2008, but I didn't do anything all the way until October, so August, September, I still wasn't doing anything. And then finally they approved my program at the school. It took forever for them to approve it. Even though we had 128 different clubs, ice cream eating club, they would not approve my program, and I had to really fight for it.
Right. Wow. And then from there, okay, so, you had the program, and then you said, hey, because you're an educator at heart, you know what I'm saying? And you're very passionate. You want to, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, all intertwined. And then
in there sometimes, but
right. And so, but then you said, am I correct that, you then said, hey, I could probably have a bigger platform as a business owner, as a global leader? Talk to us about what happened in 2020. I know I'm fast forwarding.
Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward for you guys. So basically I ended up teaching a business unit in high school. And I was like driving to Chicago one day. I was like, why don't we just start a business? Why teach them how to do a fake business? I was teaching seniors. So we ended up, long story short, we ended up starting a business. I ended up getting a $100,000 grant, and they wrote an article. They had written an article about me in the Indianapolis Star called "Money as a Weapon," and I got fired the next year, like going into the next year, because that's when I got my $100,000 grant, and I just wasn't a fan of just doing things just the same way over and over again. So when I got fired from my teaching job in 2016, and before getting ready to go into this lawsuit with them, I had the pleasure of meeting a millionaire who told me, listen, you make a living between 9 and 5, you get stupid rich between 5 and 3 a.m. Why don't you just start your own program? Why don't you start your own school and help people become millionaires? And that was in February, like the 10th of 2016. So I kind of found my way to success since then.
Wow. And so now 2020, right? So, I get it. So 2016, right? Meet this millionaire, because we always talk about success leaves footprints, right? And so, who's in your ear? Who are you around, right? And that's why we have a very loyal following on The Real Money Coach. And I'm so very grateful. And many people watch the recording. People, as Tony said, will send us emails, texts, call us, let us know how much they've enjoyed. So 2016, that seed was really watered because it's already always been there within you, right? But then 2020, you got I always say introduced to an opportunity,
right?
And everything just opened up. Talk to us about that, because what Tony said in the beginning, Megan, I want to set the tone. The stock market crashing, or the volatility of the stock market going up and down because of COVID-19. Tony got a download to say, Marlon, man, people are really stressing. Let's create a town hall forum. We only thought we were going to do maybe 1, 2, or 3 at the most. We have not missed the Real Money Coach virtual forum, since April 2nd, right? Awesome. And so it was just like, wow. But isn't it, like Tony said, it's amazing because I already know what business you're in, and and it was like, whoa, we start off with stocks and whatnot, but now you as our guest talking about 4X.
Right.
4X. I mean, it's like, my goodness. And I believe it's the $6.8 trillion industry a day. But anyways, how did you get introduced to this opportunity? And then we want to hear also how you went from, we say former teacher to, multimillionaire business owner in 2020. So I know I put a lot on you, but introduced to this and, talk to us, share with our audience.
Let her tell us. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You really just have to be ready for opportunities. And people forget that you don't have failures. Those are opportunities to grow. So as I went from losing my job to getting into a mobile gaming company, then to getting into like a wine business, I was just in the network marketing space. And network marketing will really show you who you are. It's going to show you what your influence is like. It's going to show you if you're patient or not. You got to deal with a lot of different people. And I learned from the best. So I went from different companies learning different skill sets. And the great thing is that once I found the network marketing space, it's digital. I don't want to wait, Marlon, for you to lose weight for me to be able to make some money. I don't want to do that. So when I got into the network marketing space, I love the structure of it, how you can really take another person and help them out. So long story short, I got into Forex in 2017, and it was very confusing at first because I wouldn't allow myself to learn it. I'm just like, no, I don't want to learn it. But then as I started to quiet my brain and understand this is where the big boys are, right? This is where the real money is in the foreign exchange market. It's where the banks play. So I started studying and listening and taking notes, and I always say note takers are the money makers. All you have to do is listen to the right folks and get yourself around the right types of people and be open to opportunities, which sadly, a lot of people shut it off before they even get a chance to get involved. So long story short, I stumbled into a couple Forex companies that did pretty good job. But then in March, I came into this company. So you combine the storm of the pandemic coming, people being trapped in their houses, uncertainty, and then all of a sudden this company Tradera pops up. And I already knew. I looked at the program and it's so ridiculously simple. I'm like, I'm gonna make $100,000 a month on the referral side. Let me check the education, make sure the education is top notch. And the owners of our company are 24, two of them, and they're traders. They've made a lot of money, dropped out of college to follow their dreams of helping other people make money. And it was just a perfect marriage in the midst of a perfect storm, though. So when I came into Tradera, it was March the 7th, a couple weeks before the pandemic hit. And I jokingly told people, if you trap me in my house for 4 weeks, that's what I thought it would be, I'm going to make people a lot of money. We're going to stay in here and we're going to get educated. And we literally lived on Zooms. And within my first 4 days in the program, I was making $5,000 a month. My twin sister, $5,000 a month in 7 days, $10,000 a month in 2 weeks, $20,000 a month in 6 weeks, $50,000 a month in 7 weeks. And then I hit $100,000 a month in about 90 days, because the program is really about success loves preparation, which I was prepared, but success also loves speed. You don't have time to be waiting. When God gives you an opportunity, a lot of times people will say, oh, I'm just waiting on God. And I always say, no, he's waiting on you.
Right.
He already gave you the opportunity, but people move slowly and they think they have all day. And because I've seen so many people not make it at such a young age, I don't take my time for granted. So that's what I just came in, took advantage of the opportunity, and now I'm embarking on 200,000 a month right now. And I've only been over here since March, but my team is making roughly about $1 million a week right now. So it's not just me, it's about who can you bring with you. So that's where I am right now, just in awe right now of, wow, I could have given up so many times along the way, but that's why my athletics prepared me to not give up. One of my coaches was a drill sergeant. That's the hardest coach I've ever had in my life. It's like you cried before practice. That's how bad it was. But anyway, and I really think that prepared me to just go through the storms and just keep on moving through them. So I'm just in awe of what God can do if you don't give up.
Right.
I want to add this real quick. I had gotten this slip of paper when I was going through my tough times when I was teaching, and someone dropped it in my mailbox at school. It said, when you do all you can, God does what you can't. So all we have to do is just do everything that you can and be the best that you can. And, and I just think amazing things happen when you put forth that effort. So
a couple things that came to my mind as you were talking. One is, I often have said this, is that, God is waiting for our actions to catch up with our anointing. We have the anointing, but our actions are contrary to the anointing that God has given us. He's waiting for our actions to catch up with the anointing. And that was one thing. And then the other thing is the velocity of money, and people understand that money is fluid, right? There's a velocity. And when that velocity of money is really flowing, that's when we can make a great deal of income. We can help a lot of people. And the fact is, if somebody, and even if you talk about civil rights, right? Somebody had to fund the things that Martin Luther King was doing. Somebody had to fund Malcolm X's work. Somebody had to fund those things. And we forget about that. We forget about there has to be some funding behind a great movement. And so I love the fact that you have taken off like that. I mean, that's so inspiring in a few short months. And last thing I want to say, Marlon, you can come on in, is you have to pick your heart, right? Because there's nothing worthwhile that's easy, right? You have to pick your heart. So you can work hard and have some money, or you can be broke and living a hard life that way. So you get to pick your heart in life. What heart do you want to take? And so that's so inspiring what you're doing. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Megan, Twanda says Megan is an awesome leader too, right? And so, I mean, that's powerful, right? Because again, that's one of the reasons why, you and I have been talking for a while, and I've been wanting you to be on this show, right? And your schedule, you're very busy, and yet I know that you are a person who's very passionate about making a difference. And so, as we talk about right now, there's a lot of people, a lot of viewers, Megan, and you talked about, basically failing forward. There are a lot of viewers right now. COVID-19 has turned their world upside down. There's a lot of people that have lost their jobs. Some businesses have closed. Talk to us about, as far as the mindset, you've already kind of mentioned it, but what type of mindset do you have? And for our viewers, what kind of mindset does it take to live their dreams?
Well, and it's interesting that you ask, because you do have to fail your way forward. And I always heard this, you have to learn in life, really, and I thought this was profound. My mentor told me this: you have to discipline your disappointments in life, because when you learn that there are going to be disappointments, and I'm, a single parent, I've been divorced, and a lot of times you can put these unrealistic expectations on yourself. And when you fail in the eyes of, I guess, society, it can cause people to really shut down. But I've learned really, truly how to discipline disappointments in other people. I have an 18-year-old son, and he's doing phenomenal. He's in this company at $10,000 a month as an 18-year-old. he really struggled in school. He struggled tremendously in school, and it wasn't his cup of tea, right? But he was that kid in school making like $200 a day selling candy. No kidding. He literally kept us afloat with his entrepreneurial endeavors. When I lost my job, he was selling his shoes. He would sell coats. He would sell candy. And a lot of times that's how we were able to survive. I mean,
Wow.
to be honest, now he's over here in this program, but I do want to tell people, like, when you're going through challenges, you got to give yourself an opportunity to fail, though. A lot of people don't give themselves permission to fail. So they don't even try to do things outside of the norm because they're too afraid, you know, that false evidence appearing real. And that is the biggest challenge, is to understand that we are human beings. There is really no, there's nothing that's telling us that this is the right way or the wrong way. And we have our spiritual compass. We have all of those things. But even with that, we start listening to other people. And if you're not careful, you will let people drip into your subconscious. And then all of a sudden, you're knocked out of the game. So you really do have to just understand that you're going to make some mistakes. And the more mistakes you make, it's your opportunity to grow and to get better. I make mistakes as a parent, right? I'm a single parent of a 13-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old son. I've never been a parent of a 15-year-old daughter. So I don't have the answers when she's 15. I could do the best that I can. So I'm going to give myself permission to fail and to get back up and to do it again and again until I'm good at it. So whatever you work at, you're going to, whatever you work at, you're going to become great at. You do it consistently. Wow. And that's what we did in this business. Consistent work.
Right. Your work ethic, I mean, is really amazing. I mean, I know you as you said earlier in the green room, how, you're on the phone, you've got your own Zoom calls, international. I think I was on one of your Zoom presentations. You had 727 people all throughout the world. And that's the power, right? I mean, that's the power of this technology. And, for all of you that are watching, just understand that, as Megan's saying, failing forward, right? You're only a failure. To be honest with you, there's no such thing as failure. There's only results. And if you don't get the results you want, you change your strategy. And so, Megan, as far as,
that's what Nelson Mandela said. He said, we never lose. We either win or we learn. We never lose. We're either learning or we win. Absolutely.
I'm going to say that so much that it's going to be my quote. I love that.
Right. That's it. So Megan, what about, for our viewers, already a couple of people are saying, hey, does Megan have a website? People want to connect. I mean, what is it about this opportunity? I mean, you drop some numbers and all that good stuff, but your son, $10,000 a month, he's 18. What? So what, I guess the question is, what makes this so attractive? Why, when I was on your Zoom, 727 people all over the world were tuning in. What is it about this?
Well, I mean, you have to understand, and most people use this quote and they don't really think about it, when opportunity meets, when success is when opportunity meets preparation. Right. So we've been preparing for this, but also this is an opportunity because it's 2020. So our program is digital and it's education. So when you merge education about money, financial literacy, which where do you know that you're really learning except on your call, where you're consistently learning about financial literacy, because our kids aren't learning it at school. So when you take a model that's a simple, basic model, everybody understands going to college. We do it online, right? So it's an online academy with teachers, but our teachers don't make $50,000 a year. They're 6- and 7-figure earners. So our teachers are teaching the public via the internet how to make money in one of the largest financial markets on the planet, right? The forex market trumps the stock market, like 7 trillion to 200 billion. So you're looking at a digital product with a product that is money and education. Then you're looking at the fact that we have an innovative group of owners who have put together the program that, frankly, is just like simple for everybody, from beginner to intermediate to advanced. We have people in the program who are 10 with their parents going through the education, because they can log into their parents' account, go through the education. I have an 11-year-old from the UK who makes about $200 a day with his parents from his technology. So these kids get it, right? They're already on their technology. Now we just have to educate them about money. And then when you add what we have, which is a very aggressive, lucrative referral program that says, if you come to our academy, our college, and you refer some people, we'll give you a free education. And by the way, you don't even have to pay any more than $99 to come over. So when you're not paying very much, and the next college is charging 40, 50,000 a year, and we're charging $99 a month, that's affordable. And you can learn how to make money, and you can refer people and make money. It's just, wow. And we're trapped in our houses. You know what I mean? So we called ourselves the coronavirus millionaires. We literally shared this opportunity, and we lived on Zooms, and we really kept ourselves encouraged, because we were bringing in new folks all over the world who were dealing with the virus, dealing with losing people. But man, we really kept each other inspired. And the result is we made a lot of money, and we're still making a lot of money in the process as well.
Wow. I mean, that says it all. Go ahead, Tony.
It's like this, man. It's about putting yourself in the path of the money. And we got to put ourselves in the path of the money. And we talk about that all the time is, so often we miss out on that window of opportunity because we're not willing to stick our head out. We're not willing to, like you said, fail. We're not willing to take a risk. And I certainly just believe that, you got to put yourself in the path of the money, because the money's going to flow with or without you. So why not put yourself in the path of the money? So, yeah.
And I always tell people, when you're not focused so much on the money's important, and people constantly say, oh, it's not important. And they make you feel bad about talking about money. But this is what wealthy people teach their kids about: how to make money, how to grow money, how to keep it, build a legacy. But then when you don't have, you have a tendency to shy away from it and think that it's not possible. So you stop talking about it, and you're not putting it out into the atmosphere, and you're not talking to people who, putting yourself in the path of money, then those opportunities are not missed. It's just passed to the next prepared person. And I don't know where I'm at, but that's what it is. It's passed on to the person who is willing to take that risk. And it seems like people just pop on the scene and become millionaires, but it's really a lot of failing your way to success and putting yourself in the path of money and being run over by the train a couple of times. And like jumping out of the way and getting back up again. But,
and you don't run over a train. It might as well be a money train, right?
Money train, right?
Right. Well, I gotta say this. I see Elizabeth Hunter Price, and this is a dear friend, and she actually is an educator, Megan. And she said, "Hey, Marlon, I'll be contacting you about my entrepreneurship students." And I want to say thank you, Betsy. I call her Betsy. Definitely want to connect with you, and we can connect you with Megan, right? I mean, because one educator to another educator, but to teach our young people about entrepreneurship, that's where it's at. I mean, you can follow your dream, you can do whatever, but to have an entrepreneur, have your own business. And that's one of the things we talk about. We believe everyone should have their own business, even if it's part-time, right? The tax write-offs, the IRS, the tax code. Listen to me, everybody. The tax code, it was created for the landowner and the business owner. Okay, and so straight up, and what did Megan say? This is an opportunity. The internet is where it's at. One thing we can say about COVID-19, there are a lot of companies that have, closed, but there are a lot of companies that have thrived through this internet, right? And one of the defining, I would say, differentiators is technology. When we had Dr. Kimber on, he talked about innovation. Right. And so what did Megan say? Wow, this is an opportunity, online university. This is where we're going. COVID-19 will be over, but I think the rubber band has been stretched where we're not going to go 100% back, right?
Right.
Tony and I, we have an office uptown, right? We're still paying, for our lease on the office.
When the last time you've been there, Marlon? When the last time we've been there?
Man, I've only been there like 3 times since March, okay? Straight up.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. But what we learned, Tony, is once the lease is over, we are not renewing. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. All right.
Amen on that, right?
Right. Because this is our new office. This is our new playground. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Megan, talk to us. I know time is running.
Here's the thing I don't want us to miss on this, though, Marlon. I think this is so important, is the residual income piece, right?
Okay.
Because here's the thing, when you sell something once, right? But when you got something that brings in residual income year after year after year, I think that's an important piece in this. And the other thing is that we talk about streams of income.
Right.
And so there are so many different types of streams of income that are out there. But when you can take, and Megan said it so eloquently, you're taking the market, you're taking education, you're taking technology, and you're pulling all that together. And Megan doesn't even know what REAL stands for in Real Money Coach. What does it stand for? It means relevant, educational, actionable, and life-changing information. And you're bringing that today, Megan. And so I don't want us to miss that this is a residual income type of thing too. Yeah. So that's important.
And Megan, listen, we have the Real Money Coach, a Facebook group page, right? Like a private Facebook group. And this is where we're sharing information. And so I'm going to, invite you to join us. Because this is where, throughout the week, we're brainstorming, we're, sharing ideas, but also showing support. How can we support each other, right? And I know, and we'll post it on, I think Chris has already posted in the chat box. So for those of you that are watching, please, go ahead and click that link so you can join. This is a movement. And, Megan, I know we're going to invite Megan to join us. She'll be there with us so we can promote her and celebrate, because eagles, the one thing I've learned is that sometimes eagles fly alone, but it's so important that we have our support network of other eagles, right? And so, Megan, talk to us about the new Wall Street. This is what I've been really waiting for. That to me, this is one of your downloads. Talk to us about what is the new Wall Street, Megan?
Well, honestly, I was born in Oklahoma, and Moore, Oklahoma. I didn't live there very long. My twin sister and I were born in Oklahoma, and it took me until I was like 33 years old I was watching a show, and they were talking about Black Wall Street, and I'm like, how am I an educator? And I'm 30 something years young and don't know anything about Black Wall Street. And then I learned, it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My favorite band is the Gap Band. So we used to listen to the Gap Band all the time, not even knowing the correlation that, Gap Band, they grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's the streets in Tulsa. And I thought it was just so very interesting that it was burnt to the ground, but they produced more millionaires, 6-figure earners, money makers in that area. And they didn't let the limitations stop them. But the sad reality is when it burnt to the ground in 1921, it was never resurrected. Nobody talked about it until like the 90s. And I said, man, why can't we do it? And when I stumbled upon network marketing and residual income, I'm like, empires popping up. It's like your organization is growing. Why not? And then digital, I'm like, the worst they can do is hack the Zoom, right? Which they did during back in the beginning of the whole pandemic. There was a lot of Zooms being hacked, but whatever. I'm like, the worst they can do is hack the Zoom. We can get through that. If we can get through some of the things that some of our people went through, then we can get through that. So creating a new Wall Street is for everybody. It's not just Black Wall Street, but it's red, yellow, black, white. I always say I'm looking for sharks, not goldfish who, swim around and wait to be fed. I love this book called The Shark and the Goldfish by John Gordon, but goldfish wait to be fed. Sharks go find food. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who want to eat. You could get away from one shark, but 10, probably not, right? So if we all come together with our like minds and we work together, we can really, truly change this world. And I believe if other people can change the world, for the positive or the negative, then we got to believe that we can do it as well. So that's really my focus, is to change the world really financially, give people freedom. I don't know if Martin Luther King was like working a 9 to 5 and saving the world. You know what I mean? So we got to get some people free so that they do have that ability to be creative and to be able to see how they can impact this world. So that's really what I want. I want the financial freedom to fund people's passions. That's really what I want. So I'm excited about that. I do have a call at 9 with about 700 people. But man, I love being on here. I've not been on a podcast before, or I haven't been on any kind of Facebook Live show or anything. This is my first one. So I'm just excited that you guys invited me.
Yeah, and we want to invite you back.
The first one. Yeah, absolutely. You got to come back and share with us. We're going to be doing more great programming. Again, we want to remind everyone to join our Facebook group page, the private group. And in there, if you're a business owner, we'll allow on Fridays everyone to post, shout out to their business inside of our private Facebook group. We're going to be making special offers that are going to be there. I don't know. We got to come up with something creative for Megan to offer inside of that private Facebook
yeah,
group.
Most definitely. We're going to be doing some great things this new year.
We need March Madness inside the group. Okay, so we got to do that, man. So love it.
So Megan, we want to say thank you, and Tony and I will continue just to wrap up, but we want to say thank you. I know you have another call, and our best is yet to come, and you and I will talk this week. But on behalf of the Real Money Coach, we say thank you. You see, time flies when you're having fun.
I know. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I always 1,000 legends, 24 to 36 months. I want to be the first 40+ year young Black female who helps 1,000 people hit our legend rank. We're already on track to do that. That's 100,000 a month, millionaires. So that's the goal. So I'll just say what I always say. I'll see you guys at the Legends table.
All right. Thanks, Megan. All right. You stay blessed, sister. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye. So, wow, Tony, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah, wow, that was a great show. That was exciting, man, for sure. And wow, just man, I want to just publicly, man, we got to say this, man. I thank you for what you bring to the show, and all Chris brings to the show. And man, I think it'd be a great time to announce this, right? So on our first show in the new year, we're going to be featuring other Chris Jackson himself. He's going to be our featured. I don't know. We can't call him guest because he is a real money coach, man. He's part of the team, but we're going to have him share his story and what he's doing, and I think that will inspire a lot of young people. So mark your calendars for that. In the first Thursday in January. Wow, that's all I can say, man, is God is good. God is good. And there's so much that we've yet to conquer, man. And I know for sure that God has even greater things for the Real Money Coach, the Real Money Coach family. And so again, thanks everyone. Thank you to everyone for coming. And we're really ready to launch our Real Money Coach University next year. That is going to include education and individual personalized coaching. And so you'll be able to participate in that and all the other things that we got going. So I don't know, man, it's so much out there as we unveil it, step by step. So pretty exciting stuff, Marlon.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Chris, do me a favor. Just let's scroll down from, the Facebook. I don't know if you can put the Facebook group page up on the screen. But again, this is where the magic happens. And we want to encourage you. You can click the link. It's basically facebook.com/groups/The Real Money Coach. And, this is, we just want to encourage you, it's absolutely free. But this is where, on a daily basis, we keep the conversation alive. this is a Thursday night program, but throughout the week, you got something called Motivational Mondays. And as Tony said, every Friday you get to share what your business is, what you're up to, like, promotion, right? Because again, it's all about relationships. And so I want to just, scroll down, and Tony, check out some of these comments. Amber said, great job, Megan, right? And that's powerful. And Dewana said, awesome. And Dr. Benita Harris, right, who's been with us from the beginning, she said, Tony and Marlon, please bring Megan Lynch back again, right? Okay. And then you got Ruth said, Megan, you are awesome. Your story has touched my heart. Thank you. Okay. And then we got Tawanda said, great job, Megan. Ward said, great, thanks, right? And I can just go on and on. And what's so beautiful is that, Brother Day even said, thank you, Tony and Marlon, for all you have given us this year. To work with, that's just really beautiful. And then, but look at what Donna Maria is a dear friend, longtime friend, and and she's she's our coach, and because every coach needs a coach, right? Michael Jordan had a coach. To go to the next level, you have to make an investment in yourself. And so here, Donna Maria is phenomenal, indiebusiness.com. But she even said, Chris Jackson, yay, he will be a great guest. Everyone needs to come, right? And so that's powerful, right? Because again, when you're ready, what did she say? When success, I call it luck. When preparation meets opportunity, boom, right? Yeah. And so
you make your own luck, Marlon. You make your own luck.
You really do. You really do.
Hard work me that you make your own luck. And so, you combine that, and you combine with what God gives us and inspires inside of us and motivates us to do. And, it's just really powerful. And my prayer is that what we do, and of course we talk about money. We talked a lot about money tonight, talked about making money and got these numbers. But what my prayer is that we're inspiring people to have a better life. To have the lifestyle that they desire, and that may mean giving. My wife has a dream of going back to our hometown and just giving away, even thousands of coats. It's cold in Michigan. We have dreams, and it's not. We don't want to be. Our blessings, we want to flow through us, not to us. Right. And so we want blessings to flow through us, not just to us. And so that's our goal. That's our heart's passion, is that we can help everyone be in that position where blessings flow, not just to you, but through you.
Exactly.
Change the world.
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching, go ahead and type in the chat box. What's your takeaway? This is our final show of 2020. So I want to close out with, your takeaways. Type it in the chat box. What did you learn as you look back on the year 2020? What did you enjoy the most about the Real Money Coach? What did you enjoy about tonight's program? Just love to hear from you, because again, this is a family affair. And we're going to close out with your comments. That's how we're going to close out tonight, with you sharing, posting in the chat box. What did you enjoy? What have you enjoyed the most about, since April 2nd? Many of you have been on every single Thursday since April 2nd. And, we just love to hear from you now. So go ahead and type it in the chat box, because next Thursday is Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve. And so we just said, let's have families just enjoy each other. And then we'll launch on January 7th, with our very, very special VIP presenter, none other than Chris Jackson. And what I'm really excited about with Chris is the fact that, he's very quiet, but very focused, and believes in doing things with excellence. And we talk about, luck or success when preparation meets opportunity. I think it's also God's grace. From the point that, that Chris came to Charlotte from Michigan, My dad was from Detroit, so I got that Michigan connection. Okay, I'm just saying, all right. I may not have Jackson as my last name.
You're stretching.
Right.
But but it's crazy, Marlon. But as you say that, my doctor, like I share with you, Dr. Jackson from Muskegon, Michigan, was my doctor growing up. No, Dr. Jackson, and that's your uncle. And here we meet in Charlotte, North Carolina, and your uncle was my family doctor.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, like, God just does it. I mean, you can't script that stuff, right? You know,
right. That's true.
That's pretty. You know, and I love what people are saying, working consistently, not fear. Michelle, my wife's best friend, our close friend, be prepared for your opportunity to show up.
Right.
And when your opportunity shows up, are you going to be ready? You know, and so that's awesome. I do want to make sure we put one more time, if you want to get in touch with Megan, you're interested in anything that has been said, tonight or at any time, just email us at info@therealmoneycoach, and we'll be sure to make sure you get the information you're looking for.
Yes.
So, Marlon, we've done this every week since April, right? From April 2nd. And we usually have this signature close. I think we ought to end it just like we every other show. Are you ready?
I'm ready, man. But where's Cam? But we should have Cam close us out. Maybe we'll have Cam open it up in January.
Where's Cam? Where's Cam? Send Cam down here, somebody. Send Cam.
Let Cam close us out. 2020.
Yeah.
And if he's not ready now, he can open us up 2021. So either way, So maybe we'll do that.
Yeah. So awesome. Thank you, everyone, for making your comments in the box.
Yes.
And just awesome.
Yeah. So with that being said, we want to say thank you. It's been another great show. And remember, your best is yet to come. And we wish you, on behalf of The Real Money Coach, please send us an email, info@therealmoneycoach, anything we can do to be of service. We have the private group page. And at the end of the day, just remember, what you do today will dictate where you'll be tomorrow. And so we say thank you. And all that Megan talked about, failing forward, success is when opportunity meets preparation. This is real. And you heard her passion. And that's one of the things I think is so important, is for you to discover, what is your passion? What is your passion? And she said that, she found her purpose in her pain. And now the question is, how are you going to leave your mark? That's one thing I want to encourage you before you go to bed tonight. How are you going to leave your mark on this world? Just let that sink in. How am I going to leave my mark on this world? And so with that being shared, we are The Real Money Coach. And remember, a vision without action, it's just a dream. A lot of action with a vision, without a vision, is merely a passing of time. But a vision, come on, somebody, with action can change the world. And I think we got Cam that's going to come on, and he's ready to close us out. So what a great way to close out 2020 with our future leader. Okay. This man, this young boy, I'm telling you, I'm speaking a prophetic word over his life. He's going to transform the world. And so, Cam, we are ready for you, brother. Close us out like no other show, brother. How you doing, Cam? I think you can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You ready to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, can you turn his volume up just a little bit?
It needs to be a little bit louder.
There we go.
They are waiting for you, Cam. They are excited. People are waiting. They are like, we want Cam. We want Cam.
They're saying the word.
Louder.
A vision about action is just a dream.
Awesome.
Good night.